everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Well, I wanted to make this video to discuss about the general U.S. stock market and just to tell you what's going on along with the 2019 forecast that I see. Now, I hope everybody had a good holiday. Look forward to a good new year. Certainly 2018, the ending has not been all that great. A lot of the indices fell about 20%. Many of the popular stocks fell about 40%. So let's take a look and let's zoom in really close and to kind of see what's going on. And as you can see right here, we had this significant pullback from late August all the way to right now, about to approach the new year. And there's a number of reasons why that this has happened. Whether it's the trade policies or the deals that's being made, the government shutdown, the fact that many of the companies, particularly in the NASDAQ 100, tech companies are overvalued, the slowing economy, that we've seen a lot of signs that the interest rates have been going up and having an effect on the real estate market. Now, I'm surprised that that we are seeing this massive correction now. I would certainly was hoping to see it in late 2019, where we were going to see, obviously, the market kind of peak in that period, and we still can. But then again, it's really hard to see what's going on. Usually what we tend to see during stock market crashes is first we see signs that the economy is contracting, kind of like what we saw in 2006 and 7. Then the market peaks in late 2007 and crashes until early 2009. Sort of like what we saw right around here. You can see that the market peaked in September of 2007. The housing market in many markets peaked in 2006. Then we saw the financial crisis of 2008. So the question is, what is exactly really happening? It is really hard to say. But I believe that what is going to happen, and again, we have also seen commodity prices fall. And we have not seen certain commodities like oil do pretty well, believe it or not. But the question is, what you got to understand is, why is the stock market has been rising? Many people believe it as a bubble. It's overvalued. The fact is that this is all the Federal Reserve, quantitative easing. And yeah, that has to do with it to a certain level. But the main cause of these stock market increases is due to earnings. And this, to me, this increase of the stock market, this is in a logarithmic form that is going up in a 45-degree angle. This does not look like a bubble. Now, what is really a bubble is what we saw here in the 1990s, second half, where we saw from 1995 to March of 2000, we see this huge bell curve that has been formed. And we see in just a matter of short time, the NASDAQ goes from 1,000 to literally close to 4,500. Keep in mind, this is the NASDAQ 100 index. I wasn't able to find the actual NASDAQ composite in just a very short period of time. So this is really a steep angle as opposed to this one right here. But, of course, that's not the only indicator. There's a lot of indicators you have to see. Now, compared to this stock market downturn, the stock market crashed first, then the economy followed. Because we did not see the unemployment rates really go up until around 9/11. But what was happening is we were having a dot-com bubble. And it was certainly a lot more steep than the valuation increases that we saw in this decade. Keep that in mind, that for the year 2011, the NASDAQ was actually negative. And a lot of people thought we were going to have another financial crisis, but we didn't. We saw the values go up in 2012, 13, and 14, and the list goes on. So, what do I really see coming in? I just don't see the probability of the market continuing to fall at these very high levels that we have been seeing for a while into the next several months. I do see that 2019 potentially becoming a year that we rebound. Now, it doesn't mean it has to be positive. It just means that we will rally for the next several months. And keep this in mind, that usually when we have a negative year, the next year is positive. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. If you look at the year 2000, we fell again in 2001, but usually the next year tends to be in the positive, in the upside. And there have been rare occasions where the stock market has crashed and then the economy tanks. Of course, 1987 is another exception to that as well. But of course, we quickly erased those losses in 1988. So this is what I really do see. You have a good point that you can say that we are entering a bear market, because this has been one of the longest bull markets since the 1990s. However, we have not seen a lot of companies miss on earnings. We have to see a lot about that, and then we can see the stock market start to contract. We also have to see bad economic data, and we're still having lots of job growth. Unemployment rates is still falling down. And I do know that the real unemployment rate is totally different, but still the economy is not contracting at a point that it's going to have an effect on the stock market. Now keep in mind though that a lot of bull runs we can have downturns of about 20%. If you look at, for an example, in 1998, we saw a financial crisis. We dropped about 20%. See right here, and then we had a nice rebound. We can certainly see that. So we can have a rebound in 2019, and then we can peak in 2020. Now the question is, are we going to peak in 2019 or 2020? Because we are overdue for a major stock market downturn of about 30%. There's no question about it. And as you know that all eyes are on the Federal Reserve, they're certainly bringing a lot of downward pressure on the market. Then again, on the other hand, you have to look at many other companies. Like Apple, their price-earnings ratio is about 13. That does not sound overvalued to me. So what I do see for 2019, again, this is not investment advice. I'm not asking you to buy. This is what I see as a forecast. 2019, we're likely to increase. We can break the highs of August of this year, although I do not see 2019 as being a bullish year so much that it was in 2017. And there is a possibility that the economy is going to slow down in 2019. We're already seeing the real estate market slow down quite a bit. We're going to see a lot of housing starts to fall. We're going to see home sales decline. But it's going to take a while for that to hit the general stock market. So there is a possibility we can peak in September of 2019, and then we can fall in 2019, or there is a possibility that we're going to peak in early 2020, and then we can crash, and then we can see a downturn in the economy. The exact part, I don't know, but I don't see the August of this year necessarily peaking. So we have to keep this in mind. There is a possibility that commodities could rebound. It's very hard to say about oil. I can see that trading from anywhere between $20 to $70. That's a very difficult point. I do see real estate markets contracting. Many markets are continuing to fall. If you look at places like Los Angeles, Seattle, if you look at places from a variety of places all around the world, and we have to see if that slowing real estate market is going to translate to a lower earnings report for many of the companies, and then maybe we can see that the stock market is going to really start to contract maybe next year or two. However, this sell-off just doesn't sound too reasonable, to be honest with you. I do see a rebound. The question is, what is the first day of January going to bring? It's going to be really difficult to say at this point. So bear with me. This scenario is pretty difficult. I got a lot of the forecasting from 16 and 17 right for the most part. 18. All right, everyone, so bear with me. I know it's going to be very difficult. then again, who would you rather get some insight from? Would you rather get it from these perma bulls like Jim Cramer's who have pretty lousy track records? Or would you rather hear from these doom and gloom people like Mark Faber, Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, Mike Maloney, who's going to just tell you the sky is falling, dollar's going to collapse, don't get in the stock market, whatever is going to hit the fan, buy gold, and they have their own agendas. You guys decide. Other than that, happy holidays.